everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angel and today I'll be sharing some more fun and simple DIYs. Before we get started, as always, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and click on that little notification bell so that you won't miss out on any of my future videos. For this first project, we're going to be starting out by using 2 of these 8-inch chunky wood pieces from Dollar Tree. Now, as you can see, I went ahead and I drilled a hole into opposite ends of each piece, and that's where we're going to be putting drawer pulls for this project. As always, with any of my projects, you can stain or paint these any color you'd like. I'm just using my Waverly wax for these. Also, for this project, we'll be using this hanging lid that I got from Dollar Tree, as well as 2 of these glass jars that I also picked up at Dollar Tree, but you can, of course, just use ball mason jars or any other jar that will fit those lids, but these from Dollar Tree, the lids do fit perfectly. Now, I'm also going to be using these drawer pulls that I got from Home Depot. I got these on clearance, but Dollar Tree does carry some of these, or you could just use like the little coat hangers that you could screw into these or anything like that. But before we get to that part, I decided I wanted to dress up the wood pieces a little bit, and I'm going to be using this Dollar Tree stencil, but I'm not going to be totally using all of it. I'm just going to be using like the little plants, and I'm going to add some of those to my wood pieces using this metallic white marker also from Dollar Tree. And of course, once again, you can definitely just decorate these any way that you would like, and if you decide to use a stencil, you can of course just use paint. I just like the way that this metallic marker kind of gives it a rustic look. And I just continued to do that for both pieces. I just made them each look just a little different. Now, on the back of these, I am going to add these little sawtooth hangers so that I can hang these on my wall. You'll see here I'm only adding 1, but at the end, I did end up going back in, taking that 1 off and adding 2 to each of these. Then you can see here, all that was left to do was just screw in those little knobs to each one of my wood pieces. Now onto the hanging jars that we're going to be using. I just decided to add some of this Spanish moss into the bottom, and I'm also going to add some little tea light candles also from Dollar Tree. Now I also think these little jars would be adorable if you added some fairy lights or maybe even just flowers, and you could also change these out throughout the seasons or for holidays. For this next project, I'll just be using this wreath hoop. I got this one from Walmart in a pack of 3, but I do know that Dollar Tree also carries these same gold wreath forms as well. I'll also just be using this burlap ribbon that I picked up from Dollar Tree. So all you have to do is just measure out 2 pieces of your ribbon, whatever ribbon you would like to use, and you're going to make sure that it totally goes all the way around that hoop. Once you have both pieces measured out, you're just going to go ahead and start hot gluing that ribbon to your wreath hoop. You just want to make sure that you are hot gluing the front and also the back side. And once you have the top glued down, you're just going to make sure that you pull that ribbon really tight, and then you're going to continue and do the same thing at the bottom. And for that extra little bit of ribbon, I just went ahead and folded it over into itself and hot glued it. Then you're just going to do the exact same thing to that second piece of ribbon. Now I wanted this to be able to hold photos, so I'm just going to hot glue down onto the ribbon some of these medium-sized clothespins from Dollar Tree. And then finally for this project, I'm just going to add in some of these Dollar Tree lilacs. Now I did put a tiny bit of hot glue onto the wreath just so that I could get the flower to stay while I wrapped it with some of this Dollar Tree floral wire. But this project would also be another one that you could switch out for the seasons or for holidays. And here's how it turned out. I really think it is so cute and could definitely be a year-round piece. For this next project, we'll just be using 2 of these canvases from Dollar Tree. I'm just going to go ahead and take off the canvases, and then I'm going to be using my Waverly wax to give this a stain. But of course, again, you can do any color or stain that you would like. Now, I was really surprised to find these little burlap tote bags at my Dollar Tree, so I decided that this would be perfect for this project. Here, I'm just making sure that both of my frames will fit onto just the back piece of this burlap tote bag, and then I'm just going to cut the back piece from the front piece, and that's the piece that we'll be using. Once I had it all cut out, I'm just going to fold that over to make a little pocket, and that's where we're going to be putting our florals. Now, before I add my frames to this piece, I wanted to dress it up just a little bit, so I'm using some of this Dollar Tree ribbon on one of them, and then on the other one, I found this Valentine's Day ribbon, and I'm going to be adding that to the second one, and then overlapping it with a piece of that regular lace. Then I'm just going to cut these down, and I'm going to glue my frames to these pieces. Now, I still felt like it needed just a little something, so I'm going to add some of these Dollar Tree buttons onto each of those little pockets. And again, I know I've said this with basically every project, but I really feel like you could use this for every season and change it out for holidays or anything like that with different flowers or different little accents. For this next project, we're going to be using one of the 8x10 canvases from Dollar Tree, and we're actually going to make this a reverse canvas, so you want to be very careful removing the canvas from the frame. And the way I do this is I just use a flathead screwdriver to pop up the staples, and then I pull them out with a little set of pliers. Once I had the canvas off, I just set that to the side, and then I'm going to go ahead and again stain my wood frame with some of that Waverly wax. Again, you can do any color you would like. And I don't think I mentioned this in the earlier projects, but I do like to keep my paintbrush wet while I am doing this. It just helps spread the wax, and also you'll be able to see that wood just a little bit better. Now also for this project, we are going to be using some of these sawtooth hangers, but not to hang this photo. We're actually going to be using those to secure our flowers onto the canvas. Now I only had silver ones, and I didn't want silver. I kind of wanted to change them to this copper metallic color, so I gave them 3 coats of this metallic paint. And while those were drying, I went ahead and cut down my canvas and then just hot glued that to the back of my wood frame. You can, of course, staple these to the wood frame as well. Now for the front of the canvas, I just picked out some florals that I got from Dollar Tree, cut those down, and then we're going to take those little sawtooth hangers and hot glue them down to hold our flowers. Now again, this project can be switched out for the seasons or holidays. You can change out the flowers and keep this all year long. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.